Hello everybody, and welcome to this process tutorial in which I'm going to show you the method I would use if I would be tasked to take an existing piece of furniture like this set and create an additional piece, in our case, a floor lamp. The way I would start and what I will show in this tutorial is by first starting with a new design, bringing actually an existing design then into this file. So I can use it kind of like as a 3D blueprint, create my sketch for the floor lamp. I can explore and verify dimensions and then use direct modeling to create different configurations very quickly, very fast, basic shapes. And then through this tutorial, then I will show you how we make copies and refine those. And the end, then as you can see, we will detail them with proper materials, which in this case here is Fusion360's pretty amazing 3D wood. And with all that said, let's go ahead and do it. Before I get started designing my lamp, and because I have existing geometry furniture I would like the design to fit, it makes actually sense to bring in my case, for example, I will use the kids play table scene into a new Fusion file so I can use it as a three-dimensional reference to establish scale. To do this, we will first prepare our scene. We will turn off the design history. And then, since I have all the units in inches here, switch the units to inches. And now right-click, insert into current design. And it brings in that file. Very good. Click OK. You see there is a chain. That means that actually this is an imported file of this. I cannot edit this. I cannot move things around because it is linked. I can turn off the body, but I can't turn off the visibility, for example, for the chair or table. To be a little bit more freely being able to move things around, I can right click and then say break link. If I do this, this file is not linked to the original scene anymore. So all the designs or changes I do to here will not go into the kids play. If we always want to bring something in, so let's say here this IKEA table I bring in just as a reference. Very good. Then I open the IKEA table and I will simply add here a cube and save this. You will see now there is a warning. The component is out of date. And if I right click and say get latest version, it re-imports it. And there's, for example, this block. So this pretty much explains the benefit of linking only in or bringing it in and then deleting or breaking that chain. And in my case here, I delete that table. Now I have the ability to select all these individual objects and, for example, move them around. Very good. So this was brought in as one component. That's pretty handy. We can now close this and I can go now to a side view. Now you can see what I mean. We basically have a reference object. We want to design a nice lamp that has a lampshade from IKEA and then wooden dowels from Home Depot and then the joinery do via 3D printed material. Let's take a look at, we will turn on the layout grid, we will create a new sketch and I work directly from the front view. There we are, very good. Click and I'm here at the center. So right now, if I start sketching, you see the table stuff is a little bit over it. Ideally, maybe I will finish the sketch, select all this, go to move, say bring this to here. Very good. And there is my sketch. Right click, edit, Now I'm ready to work. Let's create actually the lampshade first. I will go to the line tool. I will work on the axis here, click and click, bring this over, click OK, and I can zoom in a little bit. I will make sure that this point is also vertically constrained to my origin. Very good. Then I can give this some dimensions, 7.6 inches. This will be 1 inch. Very good. I do have here a horizontal line of 4 inches. I punched in 4 and hit enter. And now we create the curved sides simply with 2 arcs. One arc here and one arc there. And we can go back and start dimensioning everything. This has a radius of 10. Oh, this actually jumps, so let's undo that step. Maybe we specify some other dimensions first. The distance here is 1.5, and then the height is 3.2. Very good. And now when I go in and say 10, there, you see this works better. I would like this arc to 90-degree terminate on this line. Little trick, I will just create a helper line. Okay, this line is perpendicular to this line, so that's good. Otherwise, I make this 90-degree. This can be simply a construction line, and then the arc to this line is going to be tangent, and that forces it in. Beautiful. Cool. Okay, so if I press escape, click a point and drag things around, you see the sketch is pretty well constrained. This one doesn't move. Here we make this 2 inches. I just press D for the dimension command. And all I can do is just move this one up and down. So I can see how big actually that lampshade is. It's nearly as big as the seat. So we don't want this to be very close. We want this to be further up. So it can shoot the light actually onto the ceiling and then the light bounces back down. This means now this can maybe go up a little bit. Let's go back into that sketch. So we're going to create everything via wooden dowels, and then the joinery is done via 3D printed plastic parts. Essentially, we have a center line and then in the minimum 3 legs. So I go to the line command, go to here, draw this one down, and then I draw a line onto this ground. This point should always be on the ground. So I horizontally constrain it to the center point. I can select this line. Sorry, go to dimension, select this line. This way we make, let's say, 16 inches. And then this we also make 16 inches. But the angle here, that I would like to be 13 inches. So I will create here another vertical line. That's a helper construction line. And then between these two edges, I add 13 degrees. Okay, very good. So we take a look at this wireframe now. So 16 inches, 16 inches. Yeah, okay. Well, in relationship to the table, we still see this is pretty massive or kind of short. So I want to go in and say, well, what about 25 and 25? With 25, you see the base also gets bigger. Oh, this starts to look actually better. Back into the sketch. If I draw myself here a line up, let's say 10 feet. That's a pretty high ceiling. let's say 9 feet. There we are. Now we can see now this lamp is actually still pretty short. So let's go ahead. Let's make this 30 and 30. Can be tall. It's good. These lines we can remove. These were more for helping us a little bit. So here we have a line, and there we have a line. We can use actually the pipe command to extrude the geometry along it. So let's make a quick prototype. I don't want change selection. One pipe, 1 inch, right click, repeat pipe, this one, new body, 1 inch, very good. And let's do our revolve as a new body. So there's our piece. Where's our second leg? There. And let's create a circular pattern. The axis is, oh, we can use the sketch. Very good. 3 pieces. Yeah, that looks actually quite nice. Very good. And now we can see that with the lampshade being further away, it's not really that big. When I select these surfaces, so these are all made out of 1 inch wooden dowels. If I go to the press and pull and say kind of like, yeah, 0.5, you see how we can make this bigger. So 0, 0.5, 1 inch, 0.5, enter. Hold on, why does this actually not work out? I think, give me 1 second. I didn't really see this grow as much. This should be 1 inch. This is 1 inch, very good. Oh, I see. This reads out the radius. The diameter is 1 inch. So if I set this to 1, now this actually grows. And then this is now 2 inches. Okay. So if I go back to this and this and this and here, and if we, yeah, 0.5 is 1 inch, 0.75 is 1.5 inch diameter. So 0.75. There we are. Very good. Now this looks, for example, a little bit more solid. Now, the nice thing about working with direct modeling is, again, we can very quickly create variations. So I select everything here, go to the copy tool, create a copy, and move this over. And thank you. I will go to select and turn all this off and only body faces. Then I select all those, go to the move command and bring these down. I selected just the faces and I'm just creating or I'm just moving these faces, and that actually adjusts the whole design. I don't have to remodel this from scratch. Okay. Let's make a copy of everything. This actually, in this case, I want to select all the bodies. So I have to go back, select all. Then actually that works. There we are. Bring this over. There we are. This one I select and delete. Oh, actually, hold on. I want to make the legs shorter. I think I can select these caps. Yeah. Then I go to the press and pull this up. You see now how this gets shorter. Very good. Select everything. And now I'm just hand putting it down. There. And we see actually how easy it is to use this direct modeling to very quickly explore some design variations. We can also change the orientation of the lamp. So let's say I make one version. So a kid would sit here. There would be the head. Now the lampshade is kind of like the head level. So I might actually go back, select all this, copy. The pivot point is a little bit irritating. That's at the center. Very good. Wait, one more time. This can be confusing. You see how the pivot point is shaky? I set the pivot point, make a copy, then I can bring this all over. Very good. I will go and select this and this, make a copy and rotate it. So that is 180 minus 45, 135. There we are. Thank you. Go to the side view. And then I can position this, let's say like there. Maybe I want to angle this a tick more so it shines more down. Very good. The lampshade here makes no sense. That goes. And then I can go ahead, select this, push this further down. Oh, fill it. I want the press and pull. Thank you. Perfect. And you here go further down, maybe like here. Pretending like there's a joinery and there's a counterweight. Yeah, look at this. No? Pretty nice. Considering that this is for children and this is a pretty big lampshade, this will kind of like blind the kids. Ideally, this lampshade is fine, but then really has to hang down. So to provide illumination, what we will do is take this and the long version and shoot this up. And this idea is not necessarily bad, but we can use this actually to shine at an angle onto the wall. So let's make another copy. There, very good. And this lampshade, I would like to put onto the piece there. So how do we do this? First, I can move this to somewhere else. There we are. And here comes the trick. Align this center to this center. Let's use this with body. There. Flop and flip. There we are. Because everything is a cylinder or circle at the shape, the base, this is a perfect alignment. I can do this controlled by my eye, but as you saw, this was much faster and more precise. So now I basically have option A and option B. And the pieces in between are kind of like, well, they could work, but they were nice explorations. I'm not really going to do this. The initial design I made was with 1-inch dowel, which is fine. It makes it feel lighter, but it's less stable. And the 1.5 simply feels more solid. It has more weight. So all this here, all these bodies, I can put into one folder, for example. So new group, and I call this Ideation. These are just my initial pieces. Put this in there, very good. All this I can dissolve. We don't really need it anymore. And there we are. Honestly, where our design is, we can now nicely move around. What I mean, this one is at the center and this one is not at the center. So we can keep it this way, or we completely rebuild the pieces one more time from scratch in so that version 1 and version 2 are always at the same position. Now, which is what I can do here. So you revolve around this axis. Very nice. And then here we add a nice fillet. There we are, 0.5. Right click, repeat, and then here, 0.25. There we are, very good. And then we want to core this also out. Here, call this out. Let's say, yeah, it's not very thick, 2 millimeters. Yes, that's right. While my scene is working in inches, now you can type in any other unit. There is a fixture inside with the light bulb. We don't have to model it because that's a hardware piece we can buy. This is perfectly sufficient. Now I will create this pipe here one more time. This time 1.5 inch. There you can see now it's actually quite thick. Yeah, here. Now with the base, see that looks too flimsy. That's better. That's maybe a tick too thick. Here, this is good. New body, right click, repeat, and then we do the same here too, and a new body. Very good. Okay. This is our lampshade, which we can turn off. This now we can change. And now we can think about, okay, so how do we do the connections? I would like here something to go up and here something go down. So we have kind of like a Y, and then we have a foot piece at the end. The foot piece is going to be the easiest one. So if I round this, now we can put a piece of, I would say, yeah, kind of like a 3D printed cap actually. Yeah, let's do that. First, I will select this face and then I will push this back by minus 0.25 of an inch. And then I'm going to extrude 0.25 the cap, but as a new body. And then this I will round 0.125 or 0.25. You see it's nearly round. Let's go with 0.2. Then we have a little bit of a flat edge there. Very good. This is not really sitting on the ground. So what I will do now is the following. I need to move this up a little bit. So there, this is perfectly oriented. And then a side view, I move this up. There, very nice. We can see that, I'm sorry for the crazy rotation here. We can see that this is really not matching perfectly. So what I will do is this one, we simply move away a lot, show this, and then we match this surface to this surface and replace face. Okay. This one onto this one. Thank you. No, we can simply make 3D print this and then use glue. Or if we want to make this a little bit more fancy, we can put a small piece in it. So there's the center, 0.5 of an inch, very good. This, how far does this go up? 0.25 of an inch. Joint, it's one piece, and then we say from this one, I would like this one to be removed, but keep the tool. And there I have now the opening. Now this is something with a drill. I can go in and drill. It's kind of like a key. Okay, so that part is done. The same idea of shortening and then rebuilding we also do up here. So this and this. I will now bring back, yeah, I don't know how much, might zoom out a little bit, minus 3 inches. So we have kind of like 6 inches vertical height. Okay, then I select this one, do an extrusion, 3 inches new, right click the same here, and as a new body. Cool. This piece needs to be circular arrayed. So you around this one 3 times. Thank you. Because now, if everything should work, I can actually join these 3 together. And there we actually can see, oh, nah, that doesn't work. These pieces are intersecting. So that means everything needs to be further away. So let's add 2 more inches. So this is kind of like a good example of prototyping, where you have an idea and then you start modeling, and then, well, you notice, doesn't work as much yet. So we set here -2. Very good. Now, keep in mind, this goes down 5 inches. And the same here. It's actually a pretty good center joint. It's not too small, it's not too big. Yeah, there you can see these caps, they don't touch each other. So this is better. Let's join all the stuff together. That looks beautiful. The same way how we created a cap, a key for the cap, could also do here. This is all circular, so can make something round, put it in, perfect. If something shouldn't rotate, instead of a cylindrical opening, we could use a cubical square opening. This is actually pretty nice. So let's go ahead, circular pattern these 2 pieces around this one 3 times. And there's the rest of our leg. There's our lampshade. There. Now if we now take a look at it, that looks pretty decent. Yeah, the material thickness is actually quite nice. That was a good solution. Now we don't have something to connect the lamp. So I will go ahead and say this one, we bring down -5. Okay. And then I will go and say, I would like to have a fluted piece. So U to U, and profile 2, make G1. You see how it's nicely fluted. And we can keep this at connected, so it just starts and then blends as a new body. Very good. This is, for example, the piece which would be hollow. We would feed the cable through, etc. Okay, very nice. Very good. So the only thing I now notice is this is way too big. It's also really big like there. This feels fine. The caps are small and tiny. So I don't really like this body. So I'm going to delete it. And we made this 5. Let's add 3 to it. And then see how that actually would be. Yeah, you see this feels less aggressive. New body, very good. Beautiful. I hope also through, again, this demonstration of direct modeling, which is not interactive, that, however, you have the ability to make a lot of other smaller, interesting adjustments, which you don't really necessarily have when you work with a parametric system. This is a really great workflow when very quickly we are prototyping ideas really fast before we just make a super model, like a parametric model. Tiny last detail, we can actually, if we want, fillet this, very careful, maybe 2 millimeters. And we use the chord length. That gives a really nice equal fillets. 3 millimeters, 4. Yeah, there it breaks already. 3 is fine. Very good. That's nice. That's good. Okay, so number 1 is kind of done. So I make a new group, and all this we put into that group, and we call this tall version. There we are. Then let's make a new group, and we call this angled version. Most of the stuff is the same. Now we can keep it. So all this, make a copy. Here I would like to position this. There's the center. Thank you. Make a copy. And I think this way it did it already by just clicking on it. Clonk, yeah, it did. Beautiful. So all this goes in there. I just want to verify. Yeah, it did. Cool. So we said this one will shine against the wall. So we go to the site, select all this, copy, then we can rotate it. So 35. It's up to us to decide. Again, this is more eye level later. 45. Yeah, who knows? Can still play with this a little bit. Yeah, 45 is not enough. So 45, this is now 35. Yeah, let's go with that. This we delete. Also, this piece we delete. Now we don't need it anymore. These 3 we can now position. We still need to keep a little bit of a balance. So the lampshade shouldn't be too far to the side. So maybe, let's say, somewhere there. Very good. And again, we make a tall one. You see their head would be here. That is fine. Beautiful. And then this we will bring up. And right click, repeat. This one goes down. Actually, hold on. I will keep this one here. I want to try something out. And that is wood. Sorry, that is plastic, wood. How do we do the joinery now? Because this is wood. There we have wood. Yeah, how do we do this? So maybe a wood end, a wood piece, something plastic. So it's going to look interesting, and we're slicing stuff up. You might have to stretch this a little bit further down. So first, let's see if this one and this one is joined. Can I select these 2 faces and press delete? Look at that. Yes, we can. Nice and cleaned up. Looks kind of like a microphone thing, actually. So when this is the plastic, maybe this is the plastic. Yeah, let's shorten this, and then we put wood pieces on the end. So this one, we bring back. How much is this? -4, that is too far. -3, okay, very good. And then we extrude, let's say, 4 out. That's for the wood piece. And here, selecting the end, bringing this back. So there we go, -4. Okay, and we bring this back 4 inches. Beautiful. And all this then we can just put into that folder. Cool. Okay. So if I think, yeah, it's slightly hanging over, maybe everything has to go down a little bit, but yeah, it could work. Then we also have to make a prototype and see. But anyway, this basically shows you how easy it is actually now to bring a piece of geometry in, furniture piece, and then design this lamp system actually over it. We can make a let's hide this one. We can select all this, bring this back to the center. Thank you. No, we can just play around when this looks at the corner somewhere. Oh, I also see this is not really aligned. That's actually a good detail. So cancel. Didn't actually realize that. So I will just select all these parts there, reset the pivot point, and then I will rotate this. Now you see this is actually a little bit more stable. Very good. This is better. And that whole system now I can select and move around. This pivot point thing is sometimes really irritating. Thank you. Does it look into a corner? Does it look over the table? Does it look away from the table onto the wall, etc.? Very good. Since we're prototyping a product, looking at something that is gray, it's not so super useful. If we design it, we might know what these individual sections are. But if this should be something for somebody to look at, it's not really so easy. So let's go to appearance. So here we have steel, satin. Let's add this, for example, on that. Very good. We can also go to metal, aluminum. There are various anodized versions and brushed versions, etc. Anodized rough. I just don't want just the anodized stuff. Aluminum satin. Yeah, let's go with that one. Download. And then add it to there. Very good. Looks a little bit different. There we are. Then let's go to plastic. There's actually ABS plastic. That's the 3D printing stuff. So number 1, number 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Now here now we don't have something. Maybe that's an idea to add a joint in so we can rotate it, for example, or we fuse this actually together as just one piece. Yeah, let's do that. Clock, 1 there. That's one big 3D printed joint. And then let's go back to appearance. Let's go to wood solid. Let's take a look at what we have. Unfinished. And scroll down. Now we have various types of 3D wood. Here's, for example, pine. And then let's drag this onto it. And there's something that's really interesting about the 3D wood. So when I zoom in and let's rotate, look at that. It simulates actually the cut going through the wood. This one here, height. And even there, you see it is actually simulating and even rotating the wood texture. So it simulates literally a three-dimensional material. And that's what material in Fusion is actually really, really good. Maybe I put a foot on there. Okay, that's maybe the last finishing touch. So this one, make a copy. It doesn't matter. There we are. And then I will use the align command and say, now this, because it's circular, onto this. Okay, but why didn't you go onto it? Well, that's interesting. Okay, one more time, maybe. Ah, okay, there, I made a mistake. There, okay, good, perfect. That was classic user mistake. There we have this cut out. Very good. Now you can see that this is actually much better to talk about and to visualize. Very good. To create a really nice screenshot from this, we could also go to capture image, zoom in accordingly, position overview, and then hit simply OK, and then save the image on the desktop, wherever you want. And then that way you can, for example, get all your ideation designs you have, and then the more refined designs nicely visually documented. Perfect. That's it.